Right, thanks for staying with us. For some time now, 2019 has been touted by many Nigerians as the year that will change the political tide for the youth.
Absolutely. Now, that school of thought was further bolstered by the Not Too Young to Run bill, which passed second reading at the legislature in 2017. In time past, the youth were the least interested persons in election matters, despite the fact that they make up the largest percentage of the voting demographic in the country.
Yes, indeed. But all that seems to have changed now. There seems to have been an awakening as the youth do not just want to be involved in electing their leaders now. They also want to show interest, or are showing interest in contesting for political offices, gunning for even the highest level, which is, of course, the presidency.
You know what they say, shoot for the moon. If you miss, you'll be among the stars.
You'll be among the stars. Well, with us in the studio is a 2019 presidential aspirant and the CEO of IPI Solutions, Ahmed Garba.
Adamu
Garba.
Adamu.
Yes.
Adamu Garba.
Yes.
Apologies. We have Ahmed Garba there. Yes. Adamu Garba. It's good to have you on the show this morning.
Thank you very much.
For all you know, we may just be speaking with the next president of Nigeria. First off, congratulations that you picked up the courage to say, I am good enough, I have what it takes to aspire to the highest level of this country.
Thank you very much.
All right, now, first off, how prepared are Nigerian youth really for, you know, not just gunning for presidency, for politics and issues of governance, really? How genuinely prepared are they?
You see, we Nigerian youths are very prepared this time around. We Nigerian youths are very prepared this time around. If you check what is happening in our democratic system, some of the people that are voted, that are born in 1999, are going to participate in voting of 2019 election. So they are matured. So, and most of us have seen how policy choices of governance actually affect our future, affect our life, affect our successes, and a lot of other things.
Yes.
And that is why you see Nigerian youths are now thinking, wow, so actually with wrong policies, we are doomed to fail, and with right policies, we can succeed. Why don't we define these policies ourselves to shape it to work for us the way we feel like it is working in the 21st century world?
But do you believe it's a general notion of the Nigerian youth, or just an extract of that particular demographic in the country? Because speaking to some youths in Nigeria a few weeks ago, I asked them if they would vote for a younger presidential candidate, and some of them said, what does he know? What would he have known? You understand?
I understand
what I'm trying to say.
Does he have experience?
You know,
yes, so this is where the issue is. You see, governance or leadership, two things makes them.
Yeah.
Usually you need vision, and you also need wisdom, and the experiences of the past, and also the administration that have worked in the world. You don't really need to go into maybe governance first, one way or the other, before you can now garner the experience to be able to lead a nation. You only need to have the framework, the programs, because the president or governor or any of the political office holders mostly don't do it themselves, but they have the vision in how they want their country to be shaped. Now, like in our own case, we have what is called structural reform around all the entire country's governance system. Something personally I have been studying for the past 10 years. Okay. I want to understand why is Nigeria not working and why is it not growing. And even this is one of the principal reasons why I am even going for the presidency, because structural reform can only be done when you are sitting at the presidential seat. You cannot be able to do it from anywhere. You can go to National Assembly, you can be a governor, you can complain, but provided you have to come to Abuja to collect a share of money, provided, supposing I'm coming from Adamawa State, provided Taraba State and Gombe State and Maiduguri or Borno State are not stable, and all other states are not connected properly, I cannot succeed in my state, whatever it is I need to do, because the entire country has an interconnection of chains that have to connect before you can get things done. So until you structurally reform the system, we may be lying to ourselves that this country is actually going to work the way we feel like it should work. And that is why what we need in the system is not the experiences of the past. is actually a complete new overhaul of the country's governance system in its entirety.
But is the Nigerian youth really equipped? I mean, if you say, okay, it's going to be a total divorce from the past, what is it that has equipped the young Nigerian to actually, you know, compete in today's innovative world, a world driven by technology and all, you know, 21st century level of knowledge?
Yes, knowledge, understanding.
Yes.
If you check leadership generally worldwide, doesn't start in Nigeria, doesn't start in America, doesn't start in the British. If you study the course of history, British picks most of their model from Spain. You know, that means they've gathered the experiences of Spain, marry it together, and then create a British system. And then when we come to, you know, Pax Britannica, to Pax Americana, America right on British's experience to be where they are. Now, what stops Nigeria from learning from these experiences? The way to make a country is not by like, maybe I need to be in this system before I can have experience in it. It's to study the experiences of the countries that work, marry them, align them to your own policies, and then keep moving forward. Chinese have done that. China is working for them. India have done it. It's now about working for them. Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand, all these guys are marrying a policy that works in other countries and is making their countries work. But in our own case,
like they say, you cannot reinvent the wheel, but you can modify it.
You can modify the wheel. That's what we're talking about, the structural reform. You go in, you look into what you need to do to make the system more productive, more efficient, and that is all inclusive, that have every other person member of the government. Well,
unfortunately, somehow Nigeria Nigerian leaders per time, and even now, if you look at all of them, not just at the state level, but even at the federal level, they seem to be recycled leaders. People that are already used to power, people that enjoy it. They leave one office, they go to another one. And so I don't want to say vicious now, but it's a cycle, really. They reproduce themselves. Do you think these people will be comfortable shifting or even vacating their positions for younger politicians?
To be very sincere,
are you ready for the fight?
I understand you. It's you know, power is, they say it is very sweet. You know, and it's usually very difficult for you to take a person who is aged, you know, away from power. But there is one important thing that usually touches people. We are human beings and we have conscience. And we understand when things are working, we understand when they are not working. You know, it's within us. And these guys, if you check maybe from former President Obasanjo to Yar'Adua to Jonathan and currently to President Buhari, they were very patriotic people and they were nice people. And they've done very well, you know, to bring the country to where it is today. And we, as the people that are coming under them within the country, we need to commend them for their effort thus far. It's something we have to identify with. But it's not about like, I am patriotic Nigerian or I have been doing it before. It's about what I have been doing, is it really working? If you check the ideology that is shaping their governance, most of them took over leadership during the time where we have a Soviet Union and American kind of ideological war, like during the Cold War. Those are the periods. So most of them are shaped by this ideology. Our foreign policy, as it stands today, up till now, was shaped by the 1973-1974 foreign policy, because Nigerians were angry with the Americans and the British for not selling weapons to them during the Biafran War. They turned to Russia. And then from there, we now have a cycle of military intervention. And if you check even in the whole world, in the Middle East, for instance, Gamal Abdel Nasser, Saddam Hussein, Gaddafi, all these guys came through the military coup in support of mostly Soviet ideology. So there is a way that world works then. But now completely the world have changed. We are not living in the world of commodity. We are not living in the world where prices of oil determines the productivity output of global economy. We are living in the world where you need electronics, you need innovation, you need so many new things that are supposed to come into the economy to make it work.
So what you're saying is you have the strategies that you can deploy to not only make, you know, a good showing for clinching political power, but actually, you know, holding on to it. And come to think of it, I mean, only recently we had letters written from the old order to another old order saying, look, it's no longer time for analog leadership. It's time to step aside and allow digital leadership to come in. Do you need the old order to actually give that order to another old order for young people to actually step into that space? Because it doesn't seem like, young people are going out there and saying,
exactly,
look, it's time for you guys to, step aside. Because after all, you were all young when you fought for independence for Nigeria.
Yes.
When Gowon was president at the age of 30. And the average 30-year-old today is still at home saying, good morning, mom, good morning, dad.
That's true.
He doesn't his life hasn't even started.
That's true. That's absolutely true.
I mean, I'm talking about youth really being proactive and not waiting for the older generation to hand it over, because, like they say, power is not.
In fact, Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai said so that youths have to wrestle for power. They shouldn't wait for the leaders to give it to them. That no leader would give power to anybody.
Absolutely. Easily. I agree with this. And that is why somebody like me, Adamu Garba, 35.5 years old, contesting for the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria with my grandparents. Simply because I feel like we need to change the system. But there's something, again, we need to understand that it's not really about age, when you talk about the leadership. It's about the competency of what you want to deliver. Now, if you check the average age of some leaders in the world, some of them are within 60s and 50s still, But they have programs that work. They have structures that work. They structurally reform the economy. If you look at what is happening in Turkey, if you look at what is happening in Russia, in China today, in India, these guys are working. If you look at what Widodo is doing in Indonesia, yes. So they are doing very good. So it's not about it. It's about really the program. So what we are saying is, we are not really saying that the current age, because of their age or because they belong to old order, they should get out of the way. No. What we are saying is that the policies, the programs, the structures that they are implementing in this country is not working. And we understand that the ideology they have that is driving their concept of governance is outdated. The statecraft model of 21st century is completely different from the statecraft model of the 20th century for which they are acquainted with. So, and we also are young people, responsible, honorable, and cultured people. We know and we believe that societies can only succeed when they depart responsibly, honorably, with value with their elders. Now, we do that. Okay. So we want to depart with responsibility with them. We want to honor them. What we are telling them is, come together, because somebody like me, I don't want to just be the president for the youths. I want to be president for all Nigerians, because my father is 75 years old. So I want him to be within. If I insult on 75 years old or I point fingers at the 75 years old, I'm not doing justice to myself. It is my responsibility right now to take over and then do the right thing. So if I keep pointing fingers, I am not doing justice to myself, and every single blood that is laid on this kind of country simply because of wrong policies, I am also responsible for that. Okay, so the best solution is for us to have a structure where we come, we contest political office honorably through the ballot, get in and do the right thing. Okay, so to become a president, really, you have to have the spread. You just have to have the spread. Absolutely. But from what you've seen so far, really, are Nigerian youths across the country in the 6 geopolitical zones united on the same page? Are there different groups, really, the different groups across the 6 geopolitical zones in alliance? That should even be the question. Are they in agreement? Are they on the same page on this? To be very sincere with you, what brings people together is common goal. So from inception, we've never had younger people coming up with a structure that give a common direction to people. Purpose. What makes people to believe in religion? Purpose, common goal. What makes people to come together? Even children in nursery school, you see them gathering among one leader who was showing them what to do. Common goal. Today, we have a common goal. Today, we have a common front. Today, we have a direction to build a society that the North doesn't seek to dominate the South or the East or the West. And we have a common goal where we have an all-inclusive system where you do not have to have religion or sentiment to be where you are. Today, we have a system that will make Nigerians to shape away from their identity crisis, forget about the politics that is dividing us, and then come to economics where we need to connect together and transact properly. Because we believe the current world order is a supply chain driven world order. And for you to have the right supply chain, you need to have the right infrastructure. And today, most of young Nigerians understand that Nigeria is strategically located in a place where when you harness the advantages of geography of Nigeria, we will succeed.
How do you sell these ideas, beautiful ideas? I'm sitting here, I'm almost in a trance.
Thank you very much.
Listening to you.
Yeah.
How are you selling these ideas to young people? I mean, I'm asking that question because on the one hand, people are saying, look, money and politics and youth in politics is almost like oil and water. They almost would never mix because young people don't even have the money to drive or to push their ideas.
Yes.
You know, how do you plan to, how do you think young people can actually sell their ideas without being afraid of the money factor?
Yes, frankly speaking, I personally have never believed that money is what is going to push me to what I want to do. I believe if I have the right goal and I am having the right conscience and also the right moral balance to pursue it, money always comes as a support to do it. Like I started my business with nothing, with 52,000 naira in my pocket 9 years ago. Today, my business has 45 staffs with about 13 international recognitions. It's not money that pushes it, it's the idea. So now, we believe if we have the right idea, the right programs, and communicate to people, we will raise funds through crowdfunding. The way we want to do our campaign is through crowdfunding. We are not going to jump into Godfather or Godmother or what. I believe that the entire Nigerians are the God sponsors of the project. Yeah. We have Godfathers, Godmothers, Godsisters, God brothers, and Godsons and Goddaughters. Those are the guys that are going to come together to fund the campaign. So we're going to do proper fundraising processes so that we can sponsor the campaign. That's actually our plan. And we will do that as soon as we hit the campaign trail. You know, INEC have some regulations now stopping the electoral ban. So, of course, since it's not possible for us now to hit the street and start campaigning because of that, we're leveraging of the new media, the digital media. So that is what we are using now.
Dominated by
the
youth.
message.
Yes, dominated by youth.
70%.
70% of Nigerian youth are sitting on digital media. Every single day I communicate with them via digital media. Because we are a digital generation. We are digitally transformed. And that is the right channel to pass the message.
Yeah, but some analysts are saying that digital generation or social media, as it were, it has become a big distraction to the youth. So that they're not even bothered about the real issues. They're just concerned about wailing on social media, and that's it.
The issue is 90% of the people on digital media really hardly even comment. Only 10% are the people that are retweeting and liking and posting and commenting. Most people are there to monitor events. So those guys did not even go out to vote in 2015 because they don't believe that the government, both the two candidates, were giving them concrete reason why they should leave their comfort zones in Twitter and Instagram to go and queue to vote. But 2019, they will do that very seriously because they knew that we have seen the consequences that happen just within 3 years when wrong policies are happening. When you have 7 or something million people going out of job. When you have the entire area shattered in blood. When nobody is even secure in villages. When everywhere is being scattered. When you don't have hope, you are confused. Everybody is just confused. We don't know where to go to. So people are really confused. Okay, now they will go out and vote.
Okay, but then you still have to look at the political platform to use, to come out to get the tickets. And that is an issue because somehow Nigeria runs an unofficial two-party system, though we have to come out to get the tickets. And that is an issue because somehow Nigeria runs an unofficial two-party system, though we have about 68 political parties now and more to be registered. And then Nigerian youths are coming out. Do you see this political parties, the powerful ones, latching onto this, that yes, it is time for us to, support a young person?
Yes, I think 2019 election is not really going to be driven by political party. Because the people that you have to show broom and umbrella and pen to vote are not the ones that are going to make the president of the 2019 election. Not the villagers we see. The real people are the guys, the people, the intellectuals, the people that understand A, B, and C. are the guys that are going
but
to
it's
make
the people,
president.
it's the rural people that have been voting because they don't have television.
Yes, yes, yes.
Sometimes they have access to radio.
Yes,
but
yes.
So, and they get to listen to most usually federal-owned radio stations.
Absolutely.
And then the learned ones, the influential ones, like
Yes.
we just analyzed earlier on the social media,
Yes.
they travel abroad. They're okay.
Yes,
So,
yes,
but
yes.
they don't have time to vote because
Yes.
to them they couldn't be bothered about
Yes,
what is
yes,
happening.
yes, yes,
So
yes.
if you're latching your hope now, placing your hope
Yes.
that these people that rarely vote would do so now, that you would discountenance those in the rural areas. Don't you think it might be done to fail?
It's not a issue of discounting.
Okay.
It's an issue of talking to all Nigerians, both the rural and the urban population. But what I'm saying is you may have a huge surge in the urban population this time around. This time around, people have seen that sitting at the comfort of my sitting room at the end of the year, and not at the end of the day, not going to vote. It's actually affecting me, and it's destroying me, my younger ones, and even the children I'm going to bring forth to the country.
Okay, you talked about old order
earlier.
earlier. I think we're being told to wrap
Yes.
now, but I'm not getting that very clearly.
Okay.
The issue of federal character, for example,
Yes.
that is, that seems to sacrifice merit on
Yes.
the altar of almost mediocrity, as some have
Yes,
said.
yes,
Should that be have a role in the new
At
order?
all, this is the consequences of a patronage system, because we operate an oil economy that encourages patronage. When you have the patronage, you have naturally nepotism, and that is why, in fact, one of our proposals is that we are going to cut the federal character process. We don't accept federal character. We don't accept FAC and other things. Yes.
Adamu Garba, Presidential Aspirant CEO, IPI Solutions. Thank you very much for sharing your thoughts with us. We wish you good luck as we see many more of you on the show.
Thank you
for coming.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right.